Hey everyone, welcome. Sar here. Today we're going to see something really simple that is basically the uses of there is and there are. So let's start. Okay, so long story short, we're going to talk about the use first. Then we're going to focus on each one of them. They are the same expression, however, they have a tiny difference. And then we go with some advanced tips, okay? So let's go with the first one. So in school, or in an examination, or in any place, you need to describe when something exists, when something is around. So we have here a bunch of animals, so we can imagine that we are at the zoo and we do want to express that things are there. So we use there is and there are when we want to mention something that exists or not in a place or in a time, okay? So that's the basic and only use. The tricky thing here is to know when to use each one. Usually sentences using there is and there are really short in the beginning. Here we have some examples. There is no time left. There are 5 possible dates. There isn't any milk. There aren't any mice in this home. Well, here there are 4, but anyway, you get the idea. So the expressions here want to tell us that we have the existence or not existence of something in a place or time. There is actually really simple. We use it for singular things. Remember, singular, just one. Just one. Example, there is one basket in the room, so we can make sure that there is only one basket, only one. There is a good restaurant near here. Okay? So we're mentioning that a restaurant exists near this area. In the negative, I want you to notice one thing, and we're going to be using a lot this word any. Okay? Any is used a lot in negative and questions. There isn't any lion in the zoo. Okay? There isn't any lion in the zoo. So that means that lions don't exist in the zoo. There is not a decent gym in town. Having some flexions where any is replaced by a, it's somewhat incorrect. However, people do it in everyday speech, so keep that in mind. For questions, well, the order is going to change a little for questions. So is there a spare dictionary? So you're asking somebody if they have an extra dictionary right here. Is there any athlete in class? So you're asking if an athlete exists among your classmates. So the answer can be yes, no, yes there is, no there isn't. Okay, so just remember, this is the basic order of these sentences. Now, there is has a secondary use, and it's used for the things that we cannot count, uncountable nouns, things like milk, sand, space, salt. Those elements that are liquid or really, really tiny, we don't usually count them. We count the containers, but that's a topic for other video. So in these cases, we're going to use there is. There is some milk in the fridge. If we don't know how much exactly, we're just going to say some. We use some for affirmative or some request, but usually only in affirmative sentences. There's a bit of sand in my shoes. Okay, so a bit of sand. It's still uncountable and really uncomfortable. There isn't any space in here. Again, we use any for negative sentences. There isn't much pollution in the countryside. This sentence is funny because there isn't much means that, okay, there isn't a big quantity, but there is a little. For questions, we do exactly the same. We just swap these two. There is, no, is there for questions. Is there any salt left? Okay, yes, there is some. No, there isn't. Is there any more time? No, there isn't. There is no more time. So we go to the next part. So let's quickly check how much you understand about this. So we have here a picture of different animals. Let's imagine it's a zoo. How many tigers are there? How many zebras are there? How many wolves are there? 5 seconds. Let's see the answer. Let's check the answers now. How many tigers are there? There are two tigers. One here, the other right there. How many zebras are there? Well, there's one zebra. That's it, only one. How many wolves are there? Well, sorry, if you said one, well, I don't count. There aren't any wolves in the image. Well, there's not much to say. The most advanced tips that we have is that there is and there are in all the tenses. But the changes are going to be focused on the verb to be. So for the past, we're not going to say there is or there are. If something is not there anymore, you can say like there was. There was a new movie that got cancelled. That means that in this moment, there isn't any movie. There weren't any more options left. You see? So for the past, we instead of saying there is, there are, we say there was and there were. Same case with the future. We're gonna use will, so there will be. I think it's the easiest because it doesn't matter what we have in front. It will always be there will be. There will be new services in our streaming. Okay, so hey, nice, new services. It's possible to use with will or with going to. There are going to be some great video game releases in the next years. So yay, there are going to be new video games. As you can see, be here has no modifications because we have a dominant structure before. And for example, for the present perfect, we also have these kind of changes. There have been several UFO sightings in New Mexico. That means that sightings started in the past and continue even today for a period of time. There haven't been any new cases of smallpox. I know that I used both examples with have, but obviously, if we're talking about a singular or uncountable thing in front, we're going to use has. But those are the tips that I have for you. So, there is and there are, well, they're usually in the present, but we have their forms in different tenses too, okay? And that's a wrap. That's all. Remember, the best way to support the channel is to subscribe, like, and share the information here. And without further ado, I'm out of here. Cesar out. Bye.